The title is "And Not Servant of the Business." It was not just okay. I will put too much text in there because my English is very bad. So first, we live in augmented and mixed reality, not only world, not just on life, that is on the web, living connected with the other, which is very important, but we are changing the material world, the material reality. And we act in a virtual, changing the real, and vice versa. And we are present where we are not, and we can act where we are not, and somebody can act here, which is not here, is present in different ways, and so on. Moreover, we will live in a hybrid society, in a mixed human intelligence and artificial ones, not only robots, but also intelligent software agent, smart environment, and our cognitive processes also. So AI is not just building a new technology, but a new social cognitive technical system, a new world, a new form of society. It's an anthropological revolution. You are social engineers. Are you aware of? This is the problem. I will focus only on two aspects of this problem. On the one side, very shortly, the importance of the science side of AI, artificial intelligence. And second, on some problem and dangers of the digital revolution, on the mixed virtual and physical reality, of hybrid societies, and so on. First aspect, for a science-oriented artificial intelligence. The pleasure of research also in artificial intelligence should primarily be knowledge, discovery, ideas, not just application and technology. And AI has a too strong technological identity, more than a science identity. This is a bit strange. AI, in fact, provides conceptual, cognitive, formal instrument for modeling, that is for understanding and explaining mind, intelligence, action, interaction, organization, emotion, society, knowledge, and so on. And I should be proud of the crucial contribution it gave to the scientific revolution of the last century due to the impact of the science of the artificial on behavioral and social sciences, Herbert Simon. And this is in fact true. In science, the economic, social, technical outcome should mainly be, in a sense, collateral, unintentional effect. There must obviously be a research not generically knowledge-oriented, but oriented to solve a problem, of course. But also in this applied research, the priority is knowledge, understanding, explaining, modeling, for doing. Artificial intelligence sometimes looks a bit perverted at the full service of business for providing the new market product, the new richness, the new industrial capital, Google and so on. On the contrary, the scientific advantage, not replaceable, of artificial synthetic approach is understanding mind society by building it, by constructing, by simulating it. My group exploited that in several domains, starting with Oliviero's several years ago modeling language processing, and I thank you, Oliviero, for introducing me to artificial intelligence. And then we applied this to sociality, autonomy, cooperation, trust, emotion, norms, theories, and so on. AI provides scientific models for, first, modeling, explaining, understanding, implementing human and natural intelligences, like growth theory, example on conversation and shared plan, or Ferrari approach and the citation of Winograd, and so on. It's a classical approach. Second, for emulating human intelligence, natural intelligence in machines. And third, for creating new intelligence. Artificial intelligence is not just a copy of human intelligence. It's the building of a new form of intelligences. And the theory of general intelligence. What is intelligence? Not only of human beings. Second issue, the AI revolution is for empowering whom? Not only our environment, society will be hybrid, augmented, but our brain and mind will be augmented. New cognitive power, new function. Our cognitive capability, not just improve it, but change it. Not just a matter of mnemonic function, externalized memory, data access and processing, learning by doing virtual reality. No, there will be a serious evolution of our social cognition in hybrid society. In particular, the web, mind online, virtual reality, and so on, will empower collective understanding, intelligence, and problem solving, collective sense-making, culture, knowledge capital and sharing, creativity, and so on. But also, we will have a new embodiment of our cognitive representation, a new form of embodiment. Our perception of space, time, intelligence will be seriously changed. And also, we will have an extremely externalized distributed cognition and distributed mind. We, artificial intelligent multi-agent system community, are responsible for the introduction of agents as autonomous, proactive with initiative, with their own learning, reasoning, even evolution, and so on, and social entity, cooperating with humans by following true norms, internalized, even violating them in case, and critically adopting our own, not just executing, but with initiative, with creativity. And this was a correct and avoidable solution for real autonomous intelligent agent and real social interaction. My group in ISTC has not repented at all or contributed to the modern artificial society, artificial agent and autonomy and initiative. On the contrary, however, this obliged scientists to become aware of possible appropriation of their creation, of possible acceptable use of this instrument. Are we missing the control? Not of our autonomous agent and robot, but of their possible uses. Are we ready for the anthropological revolution grounded on intelligent technology and artificial mixed society, which is an economic, a social, and a political revolution? Are there dangers in living with artificial intelligent agent and robot, being replaced practically on cognitive or supported and guided by them? Are there dangers in augmenting our intelligence and changing our cognitive processing? For the mass media, the main problems are privacy, security on web access, fake news and misinformation, hackers attacks, anthropomorphism, war and artificial soldiers and arms, very serious problem, and then to put some ethic, to build ethical artificial creation and algorithm, which is important. But for me, not less serious problem there are, putting aside the very serious problem of the destiny of work in 4.0 economy. Let's consider some of these problems. Is our intelligent technology research only business-oriented just because we need the money for research and for us? Consider this new MIT news a couple of years ago. Meeting of the mind for machine intelligence, industry leader, computer scientist student, and venture capitalist gathered to discuss how smarter computers are remaking our world. Are only these the right subject mind to involve the minds for discussing about ethical, political, and social consequences of machine intelligence? What about other subjects to be involved, like moral and political philosophers, social scientists, trade unions, social movement, like movement, politicians, poor countries, and so on? What about the other subject? Why alliance only between academies, scientists, and capitalists and businessmen? Is this so obvious and disputable in current culture to become invisible to us? And they say, once a machine is educated, it can help experts make better decisions. Saving machine can help us to evaluate social policies. Better? Better for whom? It is not a technical notion. It's a political notion. It's a political problem. Better for poor and powerless people and countries, or for dominating classes, lobbies, powers, and countries, is not better for everybody. Of course, we want a beneficial artificial intelligence, but also in this case, beneficial for whom? Do not assume that if something is beneficial, it's beneficial for everybody. In society, there are serious contrasts of interest and of goals. Thus, if something is beneficial for X, favor its goals, is not sure for Y's. If AI is subordinated to and beneficial to profit and business interests, not necessarily is beneficial for workers. If it's beneficial for dominant countries, not necessarily beneficial for poor and colonized countries. For being beneficial, artificial intelligence should first choose on which side to be. AI can be very beneficial. For democracy, for example, for good market with reduced deception and reduced manipulation, for social planning and social decision and political imagination and project, and also for transparency and control of the administration and for participation of people. So AI for freedom, okay, well, one of the slogans last IGK, but AI for freedom of people, not of other powers. Second aspect, hidden interest and technology for awareness. Security, privacy, war, ethics are very important, but not the most or the only relevant issues for the moral and political point of view. Hidden interest, manipulation of us, users and programmers, exploitation of us, empty democracy are not less important. Scientists have to be conscious, not just to be manipulated, unaware of those genial servants or those forces and interests. Democracy is not a formal and misinformed voting. And we should foster a real intelligence, a real understanding and empowerment of people in and on hybrid society evolution. So not just a matter of improving individual and collective intelligence, but improving collective awareness, which is a crucial form of intelligence. Understanding what we are doing and why we are doing that, who is nudging us. Intelligent agent and algorithm have to help us to understand not only our goal and our rational decisions, not be misinformed and biased in our decision making, but also help us to understand in favor of whom I am behaving, I am acting. Our finalities, our aim that we pursue are not always explicit and intentional. We have finality beyond our mental goals. The same holds for goal of our agent and robot. Are their goals explicit and transparent, at least for us? Robot and agent should be comprehensible and trustworthy, so they should be able to explain us why they did what they did, the reasons, the motive of their action, the decision and suggestion, not showing us the algorithm, but explain why, the reasons and the motive. But notice that this requires a very important scientific contribution of artificial intelligence, provided the cognitive model of what are reasons and motives for believing, for goal processing, and for decisions. We need this theory, this formal model, to have explanation by our agents. Moreover, the goal of our agent and robot also serve to function, not to an explicit goal in their mind, not represented. Do they favor some interest? Is this transparent for us? To which value do they respond? Perhaps do not share by us, but at least clear or obscure. So we need the interest theory. Interest is what is better for me, what is my benefit for my goal, but I not necessarily understand and then intentionally pursue them. And this creates a special social role, tutelary role. X take care of my interest, on my good, even if I don't understand it, even in conflict with me and my current goal. X help me or push me or oblige me to do what is best for me. In a lot of circumstances, the agent will decide for us, delegated or not delegated by us, or give us recommendation or just a little push, the celebrated nudges, now very trendy, like in marketing. But we will that in a tutelary role for our good. Moreover, who is judging what is better for me or for us? Is this really in our interest or primarily in the interest of financial informational dominant powers or in many countries of the political regime? This also for the more explicit influencing device like recommender system, which will know us better than us. Will they give us recommendation and suggestion in our interest in a tutelary role, or will they follow market criteria just for a more effective personalized advertising? They will be on the side of the user or on the side of the seller of data or seller of some good. They will decide for us, as I say, but this is ambiguous expression. Instead of us or also for our good, not the same. Social robot intelligent agent will not govern in their own interest, that's ridiculous science fiction, but interested of whom, empowering whom. And will we be able to monitor and understand that and to make that transparent to people? So we need augmented intelligence, not only in the first sense, but also augmented social awareness. How does it work, the invisible hand, the god of liberalism, which organized the emergent and spontaneous social order, not so spontaneous? So can we see this working? We need also technology for disagreement. There is a too strong ideology and rhetoric about society as cooperation, collaboration, common intent, collective advantage, outreach, convenient agreement, and so on. Moreover, the web is not accidentally now favoring a deviating political feeling. We against them, governors, political caste, centralized power. This perception of we is completely misleading. There is not a we with common values and goals and history which has to be unified against the political power as such, in case against the real power, financial one, that has usurped the political power. Population is composed of different classes, genders, generation, and culture, with very different conflicting values and interests. This is the real conflict, not we and them. And political activity and forces were supposed precisely to represent and protect those different social interests, not just common interests. Some conflict of interest or value can be solved and reconciled in a common interest, of course, but the major number of decisions are for the prevalence or advancement of the interest of a given group, class, lobby, gender, view, by reducing the power of the other. And we need conflict. Conflict is the presupposition of democracy. Conflict are not just conflict of view or opinion, artificial intelligent people frequently believes, are not just due to different data, conception, information, reasoning. Conflict are frequently objective interest conflict. So the problem is the conflict, the interest of one group with another group, or the interest of private interest against common interest and the commons. Social conflict, in fact, don't have a verbal, a cognitive, a technical solution, just based on data and reasoning. They have a political solution. It's a matter of power, of prevailing of interest and compromise. So, a mission should be to give voice to people, never in condition to protest or not to be listened to, making conflict to emerge and become aware of, making express disagreement, and making transparent which interests are hidden and prevailing, should be in democracy one of the main tasks of intelligent social technologies. Second task also, give us critical thinking. Using web technology for organizing movement is okay, but not so good without promoting critical consciousness. Not only counteracting our confirmation bias in psychology, counteracting our tendency to gregarianness and the bubble effect on the web, but helping us to understand hidden power and also our own prejudice. We need the environment agent for learning and developing critical thinking attitude to manage our cognitive and motivational bias, but also to respond to the influence of propaganda, of academy, of gender models, of fanaticism, of superstition, urban legends, and so on. Critical thinking. We have impressive possibility with new intelligent interactive technology, big data, and so on. They should be just used for selling, not, but for dominating or for other use. We can also demystify the ideology of the net. Net interaction is perceived by people as non-hierarchical, without superstructure and mediation, individually managed, spontaneous, thus free, real and directly democratic. A neoliberal view has a wrong perception. There are new powers beyond the web and its activity and information, impressive oligopolistic economic interest, influence, manipulation, exploitation of data, exploitation of our work, and so on. And so we need also anti-manipulation technology. The ICT cognitive technology should be used for recognize our profile and interest, but not for empowering us, but in order to propose, induce us to buy something, ideas, goods. They are monitoring and analyze us in order to manipulate us and influence our choice. We need anti-manipulation AI technologies. And I would like to have not so much a personal virtual or robotic psychotherapist or physiotherapist, but I would like much more to have a life navigator in my main social roles. The first one is consumer. But not a navigator say, turn right, turn left, buy that, not buy that, but a tutor, a trainer, inducing me to understand and to reflect about why I'm oriented in that direction. I'm choosing that product, worrying if I have the right information, and so on. Making me conscious of who and how is persuading or just unconsciously manipulating me, and so on. The great revolution of ICT and digital monitoring, predicting by simulation also, and big data can give to society and to people, to demos, a glass where to observe themselves also in the future. And let's change the Nathan K. mode, reverse. The best way to build the future is to predict, simulate, imagine it. There is no way. So, the great revolution of ICT in the monitoring big data is a glass to observe themselves, a glass reflecting also what is invisible, hidden, presence is. The future, a glass of the invisible. Not only the presents which are not present here, we can interact with, but can be virtually represented for interaction, but also a glass able to show what cannot be seen and understood in principle, like the complexity of emergent order, emergent self-organized processing at the social level, the future, the prediction, hidden phenomena and interest. For example, can I see now who is getting my personal data and for what? For whom I'm working for free? Can we overcome human alienation by exploiting collective distributed hybrid intelligence, big data, runtime feedback information from local stakeholder intelligence sensor, computational predictive learning, computer simulation, virtual reality, serious game, and so on, and so on? Could this make visible for us the invisible hand and the self-organized dynamics, at least partially governing it? To see what is currently invisible, artificial augmented awareness is to me the real revolution of artificial intelligence, including itself to understand what is happening at the artificial intelligence and its uses. In the digital society, artificial intelligence may either exploit or overcome our natural stupidity, not human intelligence, natural stupidity. Two things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity. I'm not so sure about the universe. I understand. Sorry. Sorry for being so pessimistic, not very funny, sorry Oliviero, but the message is optimism of the will, which is a typical Oliviero's attitude, and the pleasure and beauty of artificial intelligence. Okay.
I have two comments. A new colleague of mine, Alison Stanger, who is a political scientist from Middlebury, has begun talking about the way we have become, the way consumers and citizens have been confused on the internet and with social media. And she recently told me this contrast goes back to one of the members of the U.S. Supreme Court a while ago, I think Louis Brandeis. So this might be of interest to you. I can connect you. Yeah. I can check with her which Supreme Court justice also. But the other thing I wanted to just say for everybody really, from my role as chair of the Standing Committee for the 100-Year Project on AI at Stanford, in case you don't know already, for the next study, we are soliciting ideas from around the world on what the study should focus on. And the bad news is the proposals for this are due in slightly less than 2 weeks, and the good news is they're one page, just to give us a set of ideas. So I would encourage anyone interested, especially in the government aspects and what's good for us, to just go to the AI 100 webpage and consider writing a page.
Thank you very much. Sorry for my ignorance, but it's important. But we don't perceive how much information technology has really changed the life of people in entire society, and the impressive manipulation of information media, impressive in everything. But this in technology is our technology, so we should reverse it in several uses of that. This is to be understood. Since it's the main power on society, is this one, information power. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you, Cristiano, for this beautiful and passionate presentation, which was really touching, at least to me. And of course, I perceive a message of concern, many messages of concern about the future of AI and the risks of AI. But I see in between your slides also a good news, and which is the fact that AI has, and cognitive technologies in general, approached in an interdisciplinary way, have themselves the possibility and the tools and the techniques for dealing with these risks. So this is the good news.
Thank you. Yes, grazie.
Well, we welcome